outsourcing in the Philippines. Can you quantify that? And how much can Concentrix absorb from that demand? Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I think that the overall industry is over 1.25 million people, right? So obviously the demand in percentage is not going to be I mean, it's not going to relate to the number, because certainly a 30% demand many years ago is going to be much less today, but still the numbers and true numbers continues, right? So we believe that there's an annual growth of the industry probably around 450,000 to sustain. Portion of what will Concentrix capture out of that. We talked about some of the numbers in terms of 5,000 to 6,000. It could be more than that depending on when the demand is and how we can support the customer and the clients wherever they want to be, whenever they want to be, right, and whatever channel they want to be as well.
Thank you. Melvin.
I'm just wondering if the COVID-19 has any impact on your operations or expansion plans.
Yeah, obviously it's had, in terms of an impact, it's had an impact in terms of how we view the situation and how we protect our employees, right? The most important thing to us as an organization is our employees, right? They're our greatest assets. So how we protected them in terms of reinforcing education. They're sponsored from the WHO or sponsored from the Philippine government. We've also instituted, you may have seen this on your way in, we've instituted temperature checking at the entrance to make sure that we can isolate any issue and help support any employee or anyone coming in and out of the building to avoid any scenarios that we would have on site. We've taken a look at our travel plans and reorganized and rethought of our travel plans in terms of an organization. We want to be in a position to say, why would we take any risk with our employees? But also, as humans, I think we have an obligation to not contribute to the issue overall, right? And looking at that. As far as an operations standpoint, we are BAU. We're running business as usual. There's been no significant impact to our operation and our ability to service our clients and our customers at this time.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Leilani Banson. My question is for Ms. Lara. This is for those who are interested to apply. Is it a one-day processing application? And also, do you offer a retirement program for your employees?
So I'll take the first one. You can take the second one. So yes, as much as we can, we try to get the entire processing application done within 24 hours, within the same day. But specifically for the programs I spoke about, ma'am, we do, when we go and partner with the academy or the local government, the turnaround time is typically 2 days. Because there's time for us to, the local governments will process the application and they come over to us and they spend a full day getting through the process. But typically it's about 1 to 2 days for the processing. For the retirement, I'd like to know as well, sir.
Of course. So just to comment on the recruitment, the turnaround time is usually between 5 and 6.5 hours, right? So we strive to make it even quicker. It's a very competitive environment and landscape, and we know that people have choices, right? So we do want to captivate them in a very short time and process the application. In terms of retirement, we offer a variety of non-financial and financial benefits. At the moment, we don't necessarily offer a retirement in the true sense of retirement, although we do provide a variety of things that people can kind of participate in. We're also looking at our workforce today, right? I talked about a bit in terms of when you look at the facilities, we've needed to create a different facility. If you looked at what a typical contact center would look like in 2007, it's very different than what it looks like today. And because our workforce is demanding something very different as we move forward. So as we look at our benefits, that is one area that we need to continue to look at. And how do we help, as a social responsibility, how do we enable the young worker, right, to be able to save money and participate in a program that's going to be able to support them in the future. So we don't currently have that program existing today, but we're certainly looking at those options. But we do provide a variety of other benefits that complement what the employees are looking for today. So I think the important part is to stay nimble and stay, very focused on what the request is of the population. So we get feedback and we do surveys on a regular basis to get their feedback on some of the items that they'd like to see. And as soon as we have more ability to capture some of that, then we'll look at some of those programs as well.
Stephen kind of answered my question. Actually, I'm going to ask Ms. Lara about that. With regards to the benefits, excluding high salary, what's the top 3 reason why an applicant usually signed up with Concentrix?
So I think the scale, right? So we're the largest private employer. We're the biggest. You saw our campaign. We're the biggest. We are also the boldest, right, in terms of innovation. We work with the coolest brands in the world, right? And I think that is a very interesting, appealing component for our workforce. You saw in the video, I believe, some of the new technology that's virtual reality, right? So we're seeing more and more of those programs that we help support, and even the traditional programs where we don't necessarily support that level of technology, we're using that technology to either train or enhance skills. So for someone who's never been on a plane and we may be supporting an airline, right, we give them a virtual reality tour of what that would look like. What does it feel like to put your luggage in the overhead bin? So the technology, I think, and the innovation that we bring to the table is definitely one of the areas that will be most appealing. I think we provide very competitive pay and benefits overall, right, which allows people to be obviously attractive. I think at the core, people are interested in that. And then the third element I would say is we're such a scale that your career can grow so quickly here, right? I've been with the company for 20 years, just over 20 years. I started as an agent, as a frontliner in Canada, taking calls for talking to customers about their bills and their phones and all that kind of thing. And in 20 years, I've moved so many different levels from agent to senior vice president, leading a country and a region. So that the ability to accelerate your career is probably the biggest element and the most exciting element, to come here. If people ask me to describe, how would you describe the company, in one word? Opportunity, right? Clearly opportunity, in my belief.
Thank you.
You're welcome.